Hello, wherever you're tuning in from. This is the Investors Corner, where we explore hidden treasures. I'm your host, Tech Stephen Ugut, and in this festive season edition of this program today, I'm glad to be joined by one of the renowned South Sudanese artists with the name Kennedy O. Loria, but known for his stage name of Dynamq. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. How you doing, Tech?
Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Same to you, and everybody in South Sudan.
Yes. First of all, you've just came to Juba recently and conducted a music concert dubbed as Ruka Festival, I believe. Maybe before we can talk about the music concert that you did and the main reason you visited South Sudan at this critical time, let's take it back a little bit to know about your music career. What motivated you? What was your inspiration to join music? And how was it? Which year exactly did you start? Briefly.
I started very young. I used to be in a choir, and my mother always told me as a young boy I always sang, just jumping up and down in my diapers, I guess, singing. So I can't really tell you when I started, but the idea was to be a football player, and of course that didn't happen. And music picked up because I ended up losing my father. No, I lost my brother to leukemia, and then a couple months later I lost my father at a very, very young age. So music was my only getaway from all the pain. So music really did a lot of therapy to me, and I figure I'm singing all the time anyway, so I might as well start doing it. And I started DJing, and thank God for places like Nairobi that really gave me a chance to pursue it. And then in the refugee camps, in E4 refugee camps, we used to stay at a place called the Vultures. We hanged around with a lot of refugees from all over. And a friend of mine used to have this one-string guitar that would play, and then God blessed us with a chance to be in America. And then from there, it's been downhill. I'm here now with you guys.
And the time you started the music, you said you started early, but was it in Sudan by then, because South Sudan was not yet created? Was it in Sudan or after you fled to the foreign country?
My brother always was into music, so while in Sudan then, in Juba, I was born in Juba, music has always played in my house. I don't think at that moment it's what I wanted to do, because I was so much into football. And I think after I lost my father and my brother, that's when I really started thinking of becoming a musician, because music really was my therapy.
And you mentioned something about Nairobi, playing a critical role in developing your music career.
Yeah.
Somebody who's been to Nairobi, from early 2000s to mid 2004, 5, your music was popular. How did you manage, Kenya being a foreign country, you are a refugee, a foreigner, to penetrate such a foreign?
Honestly, I don't really know, man. It's when you do music from your heart, everybody can relate to it. And I've never been afraid to show who I am, never been afraid to hide my emotions. And I'm pretty sure you're talking about the song Those Days in Nairobi.
Yeah, Those Days in Nairobi.
Yeah, that was a song to kind of just, put a highlight into the lifestyle in Nairobi, because Nairobi used to be beautiful, and I'm thank God Nairobi accepted us as refugees. It was South Sudanese then, which are South Sudanese now, Rwandese, Ugandans, Congolese. We all lived together. We all went to the same schools. It was kind of tough, lonely in the beginning, because you don't really know anybody. But I'm glad that I grew up to becoming good friends with a lot of Kenyans that I'm still in touch with till today. But that's why I felt like I needed to show them that I thank them for making me. So I did that song Those Days in Nairobi. And when I recorded that song, I was actually in my room by myself, little laptop, and went through a lot. Laptop froze up. It was like it was a struggle, but I got it done.
Yeah. And the name Dynamq that you chose for your stage performance, what exactly does it mean? And what make you reach to choose the name Dynamq?
Yeah, at first I went as Daddy Ken, but you know that was kind of like cheesy to me, you know, Daddy Ken. And then I have a childhood friend named Charles Satiki. You know, he kind of gave me that name, and then also it just started building up from there. And I'm an excellent midfielder. And I remember one day my friend was like, "Yeah, your passes are dynamic." And I'm like, "Guess what? That's what they call me." So it just kind of stuck around and around, and you know, so dynamic is basically somebody that's always on the go, and there's never a dull moment with me. You know, I could be going through a lot of pain. I do believe the energy you give out is the energy you're gonna receive. So you always gotta give out the positive energy, and I'm all about that, man.
And you call your style of music ruka.
Ruka, yeah.
Okay, first of all, ruka music, is it a genre? Is it the name of the music you produce, or and what exactly does it mean?
It's all the above, to be honest. It's a genre. I didn't want to be labeled as a reggae artist because reggae is not our style of music, even though I do reggae. You know, I do Afrobeat and hip hop and all this R&B. I wanted a style of music that really represented South Sudan, the Junub, and the advantage we do have as a new nation. We could actually set things that's gonna last forever. So why not start your own genre of music, you know, which is of course influenced by everything else. You know, when you look at reggae, reggae was heavily influenced by rock and roll and things like that, and calypso and everything. And so I wanted something that I have learned all across my journey, in abroad and everywhere, and I just put my own twist to it, you know, and I just call it Ruka. I'm hoping one day, you know, you'll go online and you will see the genres hip hop, dancehall, reggae, and then you will see Ruka down there.
So you can be easily, confidently mentioned as a pioneer of this.
I hope so. I hope that is not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for a sound that represents us.
So what does it mean? What does ruka mean?
Ruka means your own style, basically, your own unique style of doing things, like your shirt and everything. That's your Ruka, you know. So we kind of wanted something. Yeah, it's Arabic Juba, and of course in Ruka in Swahili means jump, you know. So I guess we can just say it's your style that jumps you up, you know. But it's basically something that represents you, and that's your character.
Okay.
So
in the beginning of this program, when I introduced you to the show, I mentioned that this year you held a very huge music concert.
Yes.
Under the name Ruka Festival. Ruka Festival. First of all, tell us briefly, how was it and what was the intention behind conducting this kind of a concert at this particular time, and did it achieve what you expected?
Yes, it achieved what I expected, because I just wanted it to start, you know, because I believe a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. I think the beginning of this is what I really wanted to start, the first annual Ruka Festival. The idea behind it, it's been a 12-month and 12-year plan. I wanted a festival that was gonna bring foreigners to South Sudan for tourism. You know, basically we wanted people to come and experience South Sudan. You know, like right now we're at a place called Mizizi. They serve 100% South Sudan food. We want the foreigners to come and experience the mula combo, kudra, and stuff like that. Those are all our national dishes. You know, we want to share that with the world, and also have them come and witness musicians. That was the first festival ever in South Sudan to have more than 50 musicians on one stage. You know, you hear everybody every day complain about, oh man, we're not included and whatnot. This Ruka Festival is to showcase the talent of South Sudan. We want the people, the Ethiopians, the Kenyans, the Somalians, Burundians, everybody, Congolese, Ugandans, to fly in every beginning of December and stay for a whole week and spend their money here in South Sudan, which will bring tourism as well. And not only so, when they come down here, they can go around and see all these beautiful mango trees we have, because the image of South Sudan out there is war.
Yes, I'm going to take you deeply into this role of improving the country's image shortly.
Yes.
But let's take it step by step. I wanted to ask you about, being an international renowned artist, as I mentioned earlier. But then there is this issue with most of South Sudanese artists, like yourself. You are well renowned outside the borders, but not so much known locally. Is there anything you are doing to first cement your roots at the local level so that the local people in South Sudan can also know so much about local music and about Dynamq?
I think what's happening is people defeat themselves without even trying. What I mean by that is, I think there's some Junubins out there, they don't believe that we can achieve anything. I'm just being honest with you, because some of the awards that I've won out there, some Junubins don't even understand how big they are. I'm a DJ as well, and I became the #1 reggae DJ in America in 2018. And they were like, yeah, clap your hands. And I'm like, that's such a big deal. America is literally one of the #1 countries in the world, you know. And then when you look at things like traveling to Jamaica, meeting the Jamaican Prime Minister, traveling to Japan, performing with a Japanese band playing South Sudan music. I think also our people down here, they still struggle to understand what success is, you know. And I'm not gonna let anybody who doesn't understand success make me feel less of a Janubi, you know. I'm 100% South Sudanese, and I'm gonna keep going and keep going. They're gonna have to catch up with me. I'm not gonna try to, because I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm not abusing anybody. I am just doing what God has given me a talent to do.
Good. We'll talk about how to improve local talents in South Sudan shortly also. But let's just, before we talk about that, let's go for a short break.
Cool. We'll be right back.
We're going for a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.
Check it. This is Dynamq, the Sudanese child. When I'm thirsty, I need refreshment. When you're watching this show, we're looking for investments. You don't know. This is Dynamq, representing for my good friend Tech and the whole family, the Investors Corner. Keep it watching, man.
There are plenty of investment opportunities in this world's youngest nation of South Sudan. To better understand the economy and explore the thriving market of this country, you ought to get out of your comfort zone. You either hustle under the scorching sun in Konyo Konyo market, run errands at a small or medium business enterprise, or better yet, chair a conglomerate board meeting at a high-end tower in Juba. While awaiting an official business trip to the region. Whatever you do, just don't rest. Work hard, think big, and be smart in order to count all your economic blessings through this weekly business show of the Investors Corner, exploring hidden treasures. Join us every week at this time.
Yo, kana narua folk, galiana wagati hit, jere jere fi dunia de, usata kingulungulung, usata kingulungulung. Yo, this is Dynamq, the Sudanese child. Yo, in tune in to the Investors Corner. Investors, call me though. Peace.
Welcome back. This is the Investors Corner with me, Tech Stephen Ugut, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm joined by a renowned South Sudanese international artist, Dynamq. Welcome back.
Thank you, thank you.
And as we are continuing to discuss, you were telling me about how South Sudanese perceive their talents in terms of, looking beyond a certain point and also accepting and recognizing their fellow South Sudanese who achieve major things. Just the basic thing of appreciating and congratulating somebody goes, a little bit far. And picking up from there, how do we even create awareness among the local South Sudanese artists to know how to work in a way of improving their career and also be supportive of each other?
I think, I'm just gonna be honest with you. What usually happens is a lot of people don't see their favorite artists on those international stages. That's why they don't support the international artists. You understand what I mean? So like, if they see the Emmanuel Jal, if they see the Dynamq, but their favorite artist is artist B or C, to them they feel like we're not international yet. I'm not gonna let that mess with my mind. I feel like if it's you, Tech, or me, or the person behind the camera, or anybody else on the international scene, we are well represented. It doesn't have to be me, it doesn't have to be you, as long as one of us is up there. Because the whole idea is to be global, international. When you really ask about it, we do have international artists. You know, Emmanuel Jal is always touring the world. I'm always touring the world. The Yaba Angelosi are touring the world. So like what happens is, like I said, people don't see their favorite artists up there. So they have this frustration that build inside and say, oh, you know what, we're not global yet. So guess what? They send that message to their favorite artists like, you know what, real and true, we are not global. But we are global. I've been touring internationally for the past 10 years. I've been to like over 38 different countries, you know. If that's not international, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then at the same time, you see down here as well, it's too much individualism. Too much, if you don't roll with this crew, you're not cool. If you don't roll with this crew, you're not cool. Most of our musicians, they grew up listening to Chameleon and all this young, Chameleon they're still young artists, you know. And so I was very honored growing up listening to the Pepe Kales, the Kanda Bongo Man, you know, even our own, I did a collabo with a South Sudanese living legend, General Paulino. You know, if you ask some of these young musicians, they don't know who that is. Yeah. But those are the people that open up the doors for us to be here right now. If it wasn't for the General Paulino, the John Kuduses, Emmanuel Kembe, I don't think I'll be here being interviewed with you. Yeah. So what I do is I take my time and make sure I reach out to them. And General Paulino is blind, so when we had to be very careful working with him, we took him to the studio, we recorded him, the music video should be dropping this week. It shouldn't take a South Sudanese that's living in America to do that, you know? How many musicians are down here and every day they talk about they're doing big things. Doing big things is not just showing off how many followers you like, how many likes you got. Doing big things is being a people person. There's 19 children, orphanages here. I don't see many South Sudanese musicians doing concerts for the orphanages. And I'm just gonna make it clear, you hear it for the first time, I wanna do an orphanage tour. The first ever orphanage tour, go to different orphanages and perform for the kids for free. You know, and I hope, you know, I could get some backing on there. You know, take a crew, even hopefully you guys will be able to go on the road with me. If we pick a whole week of orphanage tours, right? Every day we do 2 or 3 of them. Just give him a 30-minute show. That will last a lifetime for those kids. Bring them on stage and perform, just kids hearing themselves on a microphone, you know? Perform their song that they like. That is building a nation. You know what I mean? I don't see them doing stuff like that. But then again, you know, let's put it like this, man. You need to surround yourself with the right people who are going to direct you the right place.
So being supported, this is still the same thing. But now, from the government side of the picture, do you think there's a role that the government has to play in promoting and in supporting local talent and supporting the industry in general? What kind of support comes or comes from the government concerned institutions like the Ministry of Culture and Heritage?
Yeah, I think, and I'm going to be very careful when I say, I think the government do want to support, but the connection between the musicians and the government, that's where the problem is. The middle person. I don't think they are sending the right message to the government, because even doing this Ruka festival, I didn't get no support at all, right? I got some, of course, local businesses here and there support me. They see the picture, they see what I'm trying to do. The whole idea is to paint this picture that is real about South Sudan. Right now we're in South Sudan. If we show this somewhere in America, they will not believe. They're expecting gunshots and whatever. I just had one of the best meals ever, you know, and that anyway, going back to I feel like people like me and other people, even you, should sit down with those government officials and really paint this picture like, hey, this is what we're trying to do. Because the people that are sending them our message, I think by the time we ask for A, B, C, D, by the time we get there, it's like E, F, G, A. It's a whole different story.
Yeah. So the middle people are the one messing up.
Oh yeah, they're messing up, man, because I see a lot of, so what that makes, it builds this tension between artists in South Sudan and artists in Uganda and artists in Tanzania. I see a lot of artists mad at Dynamq. Dynamq is a businessman, he's a musician. He got a call to perform in South Sudan. He's not gonna turn that down.
Well, let me just bring something also to to your thought here.
Yeah.
Most of local artists in South Sudan, I believe, have a wrong perception about the music as a career and music as a hobby. That's why you find a lot of musicians or a lot of artists who join this industry, fail to make a certain lifestyle or certain living style that supports themselves. Some of them would ignore that of course, the fact that they are artists, but they need to go to school.
Yeah, education is very important.
Yes, and they need to do something that would sustain their lives.
Yes.
What do you think that such artists can be supported?
Definitely, we need more music institutions. What a music institution will do is will definitely educate them the fundamentals of life, savings, and patience gotta be taught a lot. This overnight success is never a good success. So like we gotta, because everybody's busy looking at how green the grass is over Dynamq side or over so and so side. They don't know what I had to go through. So just keep watering your plants and make sure that you and then again you can literally go online, and everything is online nowadays. You go on YouTube, you want to learn how to manage an artist, somebody has put a video over there, you can learn from that, you know. I think sometimes we put so much basic stuff on the government to help that we can do ourselves, you know. I think the government is not here to teach you how to wash your shirt. That's something you just know. You know, the government can help you with, of course, yeah, we do need some institution here and there, it will help. But if it's not there, it's not the end of the world, you know. I see people that go outside of the country to go and party. You can go outside of the country and learn and come back as well, you know. So, and I do really feel for musicians because I stand up for them a lot. But you also gotta have the urge. You gotta want to learn. You can't be a Mr. Know-it-all, and stop comparing yourself to the Davidos and Diamonds. Those are musicians that you don't know what they went through to get there. Have you seen Diamond's photo when he was young? He was literally a street kid. You know, to where he is right now, got songs with even Snoop Dogg and Alicia Keys. You can't sit back and just look at the end results of anything. Okay. Even you, like you sitting right here, people don't know what you went through to get to this level.
And the music in itself is considered globally as, you know, a healer, as a therapy, yeah, as a weapon for peace, yes, and as a medium, you know, for unification, for uniting people. Okay. In South Sudan's perspective, do you see music playing this kind of role of reconciliatory, uniting? How exactly do you see music, playing this role?
Well, first of all, music is what brought me and you together here, and music is therapy. Music heals. Music is the only thing that, when people listen to it, they forget their differences. They forget where they are from. They just come together and just unite. You know, different tribes, different cultures. You know, I found my friends dancing to Lotuko music. I found myself jumping up and down to Dinka music. Music is just a universal language, and I think we need to take that as a consideration to unite the people, because as you can tell, the way we promoted Ruka Festival, we had people fly and drive in from neighboring countries for a festival in South Sudan. That's never been done before. Yes, it might not have been as big as we wanted it to be, but trust me, we had at least 50 to 100 people that flew in from outside and came and spent their money here. You know, they were walking around, people that, you know, and I was talking to one of my friends, and he was telling me like, yo man, we need to take Ruka Festival all over the country. I'm like, yo, we should. Because right now, Meridi wants Ruka Festival, Torit wants Yei, you know, Yambio, Wow. They all want us to come and host Ruka Festivals over there. So that's just the beauty of music, you know. And then of course, we cannot forget the comedy world. There's a lot of great comedians in South Sudan. And at the Ruka Festival, yes, it's a music festival, but a comedian stole the show. It was comedian Kiden, and I'm like her biggest support. I'm fighting for her every day. That young lady is the future of comedy in South Sudan. When you look at is it Emanuela from Nigeria? Look at how Nigeria groomed her, took her, and then made sure that she has whatever she needed to put out context, to put out all kind of stuff. She bought a mama house.
Yeah, and you mentioned the role of music and international musicians like yourself in pushing the agenda of promoting the image of South Sudan that has been tainted for years. And one of them has been through this concert that you just did, the Ruka Festival that you mentioned, managed to attract people beyond borders of South Sudan. Now, we all know you may go back to North America soon or Europe. While going about your tours and your international music, what kind of role, apart from just conducting concerts back home, what kind of role do you think personalities like yourself, the Emmanuel Jal, can play in attracting investors to visit South Sudan, invest in South Sudan, and also most importantly change the image and the perception that people have about this country outside?
Well, I think first thing first, we all need to work together, you know, and everything that you have just mentioned is exactly what we're trying to do, but we cannot achieve that individually. We have achieved it together, so I'm expecting, if Jal has a show somewhere, I'm expecting him to reach out to me, and myself as well. I'll make sure I reach out to them, and we work together more and more, because I've been to Jamaica so many times, and trust me, is the way they've promoted Jamaica as paradise. Half of Jamaica is like that, but the other half, of course, is, you know. But now, if you go to Jamaica, you get on the plane, it's 90% tourists. Every plane that goes to Jamaica, coming down there, spending money down there. That's what we need over here, man. You know, and we need to do more collabos. You need to understand that we are here for each other, you know, and we need placements. Basically, we need to be on the right shows and perform for people who really want to know about us, because there's a lot of people that don't really want to know about us. And then also, we have so many South Sudanese in the diaspora that they themselves, they don't believe that anything can be achieved in South Sudan. I'm being honest with you. I have so many friends that are texting me every day, are you okay? What's going on? Did you hear any gunshot? I mean, you guys, they act like South Sudan is hell, you know, and I tell them I'm having the most fun I've had since this whole pandemic, and they don't believe me. But now when they see the videos and the photos, they're like, man, you know, we need to come back. And I really do hope, like, the investors out there really invest in music and open up some type of institution and invest in theaters. We need more theaters, man. We need the comedians to have places to go rehearse and practice. You know, art is very important in the growth of a community.
Yes, and as we edge closer to the end of the program, I wanted to know about your corporate social responsibility. I know you're not a company or a business, but you are a personality of that stature. What role have you played in terms of, you know, delivering a humanitarian assistance to your people, not necessarily humanitarian as it is, but, you know, helping out people? We have seen in the past you have done a project through a song.
Yes.
Known as Yalde.
Yalde.
You know, support the vulnerable children and all.
Yes.
But what other projects do you intend? You mentioned earlier also that you wanted to conduct a tour show through different orphan centers. Yeah, what are the other things that are in store that we should expect from you soon in terms of giving back to the community?
Man, that is what I dedicate my life to giving back to the community, the South Sudan community, you know. I really want to touch different children out there and give them hope, you know, because I was once a refugee. I was once that same little kid, and I have a good mother who always, you know, taught me right, and I thank God, of course, I had a chance to go to the United States and things got a little easier, and I don't take that for granted, you know. I want to make sure when I come back, I sit down with those kids and lunch with them. I went to the Juba orphanage and I'm learning about them. I think Juba orphanage has been there for over 60 years. I had no idea about it. I think if you know where you're coming from, you'll definitely know where you're going. So I want to do a whole lot more projects for the youth. Even like the EALDE project is called Voices of South Sudan. I did another project this time around. It's myself featuring an amazing singer named Franco from Yei, an amazing hip hop artist named Little Bean, and of course the legend General Paulino. The song is called Dugu Lugara. We wanted to basically to have a drum that is fiction, of course, a drum that we can send all over South Sudan. Every time you hit that drum, all your pain and sorrow go away. So we'll Dugu Lugara fi Juba, Dugu Lugara fi Meridi, Dugu Lugara fi Wow, Awil, all these places. And having General Paulino is a musical icon, and he's still alive. I don't want to be one of those artists that, man, you know, I wish I did a song with Kembe, you know, I wish I did a song with Paulino, but they were here and you never appreciated them. And just spending time with him, and I wanted to tell him thank you, because of people like him is why we are doing music, you know.
And basically what you mean is having beating drums of peace across the country.
Yes.
As we wind up now the program,
Yeah.
what is your takeaway points and your festive season, Christmas and New Year message to South Sudanese, your fans and my viewers?
Man, I just want to say Christmas in South Sudan is different. It's natural. Everybody's like in a good mood, you know. And of course, I've spent like the last 20 plus Christmas in America doing the snow, which is terrible. Don't make nobody lie to you. Snow is bad. Spending Christmas in South Sudan, everybody's in this good mood. I just want to wish everybody a happy Christmas. And for 2022, I do believe it's going to be our year. I do believe something special is about to happen. It's going to be something that's going to put South Sudan on a whole different level. We got the opening of the new stadium coming up, Juba Stadium, which I'm coming back for. Is going to be amazing. I think the FIFA president is going to be here as well. I'm just going to finish like this. We are very special. We are like the fewest country in the world that actually witnessed our country get independence. So me and you, everybody else can speak about that to our kids in the future. Like, I was there when we got independence. That is very special.
Thank you very much, Dynamq, the founder of Ruka Music, for talking to us and giving us your time. Thank you. And this brings us to the end of this episode of the Investors Corner. I've been your host, Stephen Good, wishing you very good time.